John.
No, not at all.
All right, we never gave Father and Mother anything on their birthdays, and we didn't bake cakes on their birthday. Now, this is not to go on the, no, I'm just talking to Harold. And what else? Oh, what else? What I wanted to say. How did we show love? Was it the response we made to them? What way did we show love to them? Come on.
I don't know that we did. But on my 21st birthday,
Oh, yeah.
my mother gave me this watch. And on my 91st birthday, I picked it up and wound it, and it's going. I got that on my 21st birthday, and then I was out on the survey in Ontario, and one day after lunch, I set out with a canoe, and I just gave the canoe a push and brought my hind leg in. Then I stood up, and I made one step to the back of the canoe. The canoe went out in the middle of the lake, and the next step was into the water. So I grabbed for my watch, and it seemed to be all right, but the next day it stopped. And I wrapped it up and sent it home to Mother. This watch is in bad shape and won't go. So she took it to the jeweler, and when he opened it up, a drop of water came out of it. Mother asked me, why didn't you tell me that you had it in the lake? Now that watch started when I was 21 years old, and when it, as time went on, my son, my youngest son, was finished with his wristwatch, so I bought it from him, and I've used it ever since. Even this watch is old. But the reason I'm telling the story is that I thought it was remarkable that after 70 years, I'm 91, but after 70 years, the watch still goes. And it keeps good time. And the only reason it was discarded was for a newer one. But that's not a very new watch.
What's the name of that watch?
Well, I think it's Astra.
Oh, don't know it.
Yes, A-S-T-R-A.
So what can you tell about normal school? Do you have any stories about normal school?
Normal school?
Both of you went.
Oh, dear. Normal school.
How did you get into normal school?
Well, you had to write normal school entrance or junior matriculation. And the year I was going to normal school, it was just after World War I, and they had lowered the age. So I was able to go to normal school when I was 16. And I was too young to be there. And they seated our classes according to your name, alphabetically. So being a Cliff or C, I was pretty well up to the front. And when you'd be changing rooms, the bells would go, and then away it'd go. And there was one teacher never had his class ready to come out when the bells went. And on one occasion, me being up at the front of the class, while we opened the door and pushed 3 or 4 fellas in the door. You shouldn't have do that. So we were ostracized for a week. So we were hanging around the normal school, wondering what to do the hour that one professor wouldn't have us. So we decided that we'd put 4 fellows up front that didn't belong there, and we'd just sneak in behind. And we did it. But the professor wasn't altogether asleep, and he really blew up when he found out what we were up to. But that was a bunch of nonsense that I was too young to be getting ready to teach. And Josephine was at normal school at the same time I was, and she kept an eye on me. And my cousin Frances Dickey. Now she was a cousin on my father's side. Someone said that the cousins on our father's side weren't mentioned any time. But at home, there was 2 boys and 2 girls. Uncle Tom, 4 girls. Aunt Hattie, 4 girls. And
Florence, 1.
You pardon?
And Florence, 1.
And Florence, 1.
Yeah, had a boy.
Yes. Uncle Tom's 4 girls. 1 became a nurse. 1, I guess, 1 a school teacher. And 1 just stayed at home. That's 3.
There was 3 school
Enough of this story, dear.
No, I was going to ask you something. When you talked about how you guys were it was just the 4 of you, it was just your family that stayed together, the 4 kids and your parents. Did you ever have holidays with your cousins where you all got together, or did anything like that?
With the cousins from Campbellton, there was 4 girls. Yes, they'd come down to visit the grandfather in the summer, and that was great. 4 girls, and we'd go down swimming then in the Miramichi, and or learning to swim.
Describe your bathing suit.
Well, I don't know.
It was a nightgown, and you know when the nightgown reaches the water, it'll open up. And we swam anyway and rode the logs that were coming down the river to the mill.
Uh-huh.
And Mama was sitting up on a high bank. How she could ever save one of us to get down that high bank and get out into the water with.
I think she would have.
Oh, she would have.
I think she would
But
have.
what you think of Mama sitting up on that rock?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Dickies, oh yes, young people grow up and they quit visiting. But it was after when I was down in the Miramichi River by myself at the end of a log that I found out that I could let go of the log and swim. There was no point in having a log. You could just let go of it and swim. That was quite something. I was on my own then.